in India, if I talk about particularly our country, India, nobody has the luxury, I would say, or the privilege to simply sit and heal the emotions. Okay, if we talk about particularly our, country or our families or whatever, so everybody, once you turn out to be the mature individuals, you have the responsibility either of the family or your career or society or expectations or whatever you say. So this is exactly what we are going to answer today, right? So therefore, in our families, you just notice something: a person who has clear responsibility, or a person who has clarity that what responsibilities I have, what I need to do, he or she rarely goes into overthinking, right? Now let us suppose, when a person is clear, unresolved reactions of the emotions, they automatically lose the power. The person who is basically, having clarity of what he or she needs to be responsible for, needs to be doing, so that person rarely overthinks. Always know this thing: most of the emotional reactions, they basically come from the unused energy, the energy that we basically don't use. They come from that unused energy, right? So whenever you have a purpose, whenever the purpose comes in a person's life, there is always a reduction in the emotions automatically. This is the foundation, that why it is said to have discipline, why it is said to have a proper structure. Okay, now we are always taught, commonly, tolerance, adjustment and compromise. These are the three things which are always, taught to you. You need to tolerate some things, you need to adjust, by compromising what you want, what you don't want. But we are not taught, or I would say we are never taught in life, that how I can align myself to the life. Simple. So therefore, the emotional reactions, they persist when the life feels directionless and misaligned. There is no alignment, and the mind keeps revisiting what it is revisiting: the past, when it cannot, see a hope or a meaningful future. So when the life feels directionless, in simple words, the mind, it keeps visiting again and again the past, and not because it is enjoying the pain. Please note, the mind is not revisiting the past experiences because it enjoys the pain, but because it is in the search of answers till now. Throughout your NLP journey, this session is going to be the most significant session. The four tools or exercises that we will discuss today, they are the solutions to 90% of your problems. So this is going to be one of the most effective sessions, right? So coming back, people think that something is wrong with them. Actually, whenever they experience anything, any past related pain or something like that, they think that something is wrong with them, but actually the structure is missing. Fix the structure and everything is going to settle down. Now understand this concept very very clearly. You must know this thing, that pain holds attention only until purpose takes over. Till there is no purpose or direction, I would say, pain is going to be there. And once the purpose takes over, the direction takes over your life, pain automatically goes away. Also, clarity dissolves the emotional noise faster than the emotional work. Many of the people, how they practice NLP or emotional intelligence, they keep on working on their emotions, but no, bring in the clarity, it is going to automatically dissolve the emotional noise that a person has within him or her, right? So just taking a simple example, let's suppose you squeeze a lemon in a glass of water. It's very sour in taste. Now if you put half a spoon of sugar to it, taste changes. Now if you want, little salty taste also, you add salt to that. So what happens? You are clear what kind of taste I am expecting, and accordingly you are adding the ingredients. So all of a sudden, the tangy taste of lemon squeezed in that glass of water, it goes away. Similarly happens with our lives also, right? So therefore always know that emotions, they are not powerful, direction is powerful, clarity is powerful. That is why some people, they become very calm after getting a job, after they have clarity of the role. Let us suppose somebody got married, they got the clarity in their role, they all of a sudden become calm. I don't say everybody, but if such things happen after a change in life, or after they get the purpose or get the clarity in life, what happens, the emotions, the emotion turmoil, I would say, that basically reduces.
I have a question on this. To heal something like unresolved emotions or past, it is a famous quote that says that feel it to heal it, sit and feel, give time to uh, pass, release the emotions like that.
Right.
So this is that totally opposite to that what we have said just now, like clarity or purpose.
All
So
right, let us suppose, I give you one example. Let us suppose that somebody has just got a breakup from the relationship. Now that particular girl, let's take the example of girl because they are more emotional. So she is into deep drowning emotions because of the thing that, because of the person, the because of that attention that she was getting, now it is not there. Now see, in this situation, acknowledging the pain is different thing, but feeling the pain is different thing. First, let us distinguish between the two. If let's suppose for a longer duration of time you keep on feeling the pain, healing would be very very delayed. But if you acknowledge the pain, healing would be faster. I don't say it's going to flip the things in just a seconds or a day or so. It may take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or even 6 months, but we just need to change that. Rather than feeling the pain, I need to acknowledge the pain firstly. Right now, as you progress in today's session, there are basically 4 axes on which our life revolves around. So these 4 axes, I'll be coming to that, but I don't deny this thing, this is not opposite also. Now see, let us suppose that somebody had argument in the family. Let's assume on the beginning of the day, when I was to reach my office or somebody was to reach their workplace, they had argument just in the beginning of the day. What happens, all the day you are frustrated, you are irritated, you will keep on doing that. Why? Because you are feeling that thing, you are feeling that pain here is means the negative thing that happened in the morning. Now instead of feeling the pain, if you acknowledge that, if you simply acknowledge that, then you can simply put in something else that basically takes away that emotional turmoil and bring back your focus. This is what we need to. Okay. Alright, so now from here it is going to be most significant part of the session, that is the 4 living axes. There are 4 living axes in our lives around which our life always rotates. It's not like a planet rotating around the sun. So these are basically the axes. First is the energy axis, or you can simply say these are the 4 pillars of an individual's life. When these 4 pillars are balanced, life is stable. And even if one of the pillars is disturbed or it is unbalanced, the emotional reactions, or let's suppose the emotional turmoil, it basically start. Yeah, that's right, Subhashri. This means the same. Acknowledging. Okay. Now, these are not the motivational ideas. First of all, just know this thing. These are the survival realities of a human being, namely energy axis. What does not exhaust you on daily basis? What is not exhausting you every day? Second one is the skill axis. What you do naturally without any kind of enforcement, without forcing that thing onto you or into your life, what you can do without any inner resistance. Third is the contribution axis. Who benefits it? Like you are doing something, who benefits if you show up fully? If what you are doing, if you show up fully, who is going to benefit that? Fourth axis is the sustainability axis. What can realistically support your life? I'll be going in deep with examples, but these are just the ideas that what are the 4 axes or 4 living axes of human life. Now, Ignore any of these one, like out of these four, ignore one, emotions will start to bubble out, emotions will start to shout out. Align these, keep a balance between four of these, your life is going to be balanced. Let us begin one by one. First, let us start with the energy axis. This is going to be the first axis. People usually confuse importance with energy. People across the globe, not only in India or particular region, they basically confuse importance with the energy, right? Now let's suppose meetings, duties, all of your formal roles, they may look important, but energy is going to tell you the truth. How? What gives you the mental stamina, not excitement. This is about work or activity that you can do for long hours without mental exhaustion, right? If there is a task of, let's suppose, just 10 minutes, it gives you super excitement. So this is not something like that. What does not drain you, that's something which is not draining me. Like, I am a foodie person, I want to have pizza, so this is my energy axis, it is giving me excitement for having this in the dinner. No, it is not so, right? For this, let me just relate an example. A school teacher noticed something strange. After 6 long hours of teaching, she still felt, mentally very fresh. But she was completely drained on the days when there were administrative meetings, principal is calling for the meetings and so. So she initially assumed that meetings were important and teaching was a routine. This is what everybody thinks. Take it on you. Assume you are a teacher. Once you only have the routine on the days that you are just teaching the students, you are very energetic, you are mentally fresh. All those days where there are administrative meetings or so you take it that meeting is something important, teaching is my routine. So when analyzed this pattern, this energy pattern, it was found that the teaching itself is not tiring, that is basically misplaced effort was making her the tired one. So once she redesigned her role to focus more on instruction, mentoring, content creation, stress levels automatically reduced. So what is the insight we get from this? When the work aligns with our energy axis, emotional fatigue automatically drops. So this is the insight which is very important for you for the energy axis. Now most of the Indians, they basically burn out not because of the workload. Nobody is out of energy or nobody is feeling burnt out because I have a lot of workload, because they have the wrong workload. That is why they are feeling overexhausted, overburnt. So energy loss, basically this creates irritation. When irritation comes, you will carry this irritation in your workplace also, into your home also, everywhere. Irritation, out of irritation you are creating different emotional reactions. Fix the energy alignment, stress is automatically going to be reduced. You need not to fix out this particular emotion of stress or something like that. No counseling is required, no extra effort is required. Just align yourself to the energy axis of your life. That's it. And I think this is an example in context I have taken of a teacher that clarifies that it is not the work that is making you stressed out or you are draining with energy. This is the wrong work that you are doing that is taking away all your energy. Now NLP tool for this, which is first tool of our session, that is called the energy leak mapping protocol. Now this tool is very, very practical, right? There is no any kind of digging into old experiences or something like that. No emotional drama is there in this tool. We simply observe the daily life honestly. What we do in this tool is we observe the daily life honestly. Now people's mind, if I talk about, as human beings, we understand practicality more. Okay, that is why if you write or draw something by yourself, that you retain for longer time or that seems to be easy for you rather than you are memorizing something. So therefore this tool helps you to show where your energy is leaking on the daily basis. Now energy leaks, they always create the emotional sensitivity. Always know this thing. And less is the leakage, more would be the calmness. Now let us see how this tool actually works. Now you all have diaries with you. Let's do the activity. Write down the 3 activities that drain you the fastest. 3 activities that basically drain you the fastest. And then write down 3 activities that you can do without mental resistance. Just write down simply. Simple 3 sentences would be more than enough to write. Now answer these 2 questions. Which draining activity is non-essential or it is negotiable? You have written 3 activities that drain your energy the fastest. Now out of those activities, which activity is not essential to do? And which energizing activity you are underutilizing? The activity which is fully energizing for you but you are underutilizing that. Just simply mark that. The activity which is not essential, not that important, it's negotiable, just highlight that. And second one, which energizing activity which is underutilized. Our upbringing is in a manner that we are always taught to sacrifice and compromise, not how to align with life. So one unnecessary, if let's suppose you reduce this one unnecessary drain. Now I think you all have marked whatever you have written. Now when the energy leak reduce, what happens? Emotional reactivity is going to drop. For example, the 3 activities that are draining you the fastest, out of which you have also marked this is negotiable, this is not essential, and the 3 activities that give you a kind of enthusiasm that do not have any mental resistance, but yet you were not that much into doing those things. So what you can do, reduce the one, increase the other. Reduce the one which is negotiable, increase the other which has less mental resistance. What is the key insight in this activity? Low energy creates high emotional sensitivity. This is an activity not for a particular thing. Just observe your daily routine. 3 activities that you do on the recurring basis, on repeated basis you are doing. First, draining you the fastest. Second, without mental resistance you are doing those activity. Omit one, include, or I would say intensify one from this side, reduce one from this side. You will see that how the things are going to change all of a sudden. This is the sudden result. You will get the result right from day one. You will see that unnecessary things, they automatically start to vanish away, and important ones with the low resistance, they are flawlessly happening in your lives. Now let us go to our second axis, which is the skill axis. This is our axis number 2, skill axis. This is again one of the most important pillars. Now we, as children, till we get teenagers or mature, we are taught to respect struggle. We are taught that the more somebody struggles, the more wonderful that person is. We are not taught to how to ease out the things. So what do you do with low inner resistance? Now this is where competence feels very natural, not forced. This is the second pillar of our life. People often underestimate this. Why? Because this feels very, very easy to do. Now see, someone who explains easily, let us consider this example, someone who explains complex ideas without even preparation, this is the skill of the person. Someone who instinctively organizes chaos in the team, let's suppose somebody is handling the team and he or she can sense that chaos is happening because of this thing, or this person needs my this support or whatever, he instinctively organizes the things, the systems, workplace or something. So therefore these are the things which are feeling very natural. Let us suppose you are a person who is a kind of very organized person in your life. This is your skill. This is your skill axis on which your life second pillar is based. But we take it very casually. Why? Because this is something natural. This is not something which takes you to the struggle mode, does not add to your glory stories. That is why you often underlook that. So therefore misalignment sign is when you keep working hard but your progress, this is slow. Your efforts, your hard work is feeling like it's very, very heavy. You are putting in a lot of hard work, lot of things you are doing, but still the output is slow. So therefore the norms of the society or the upbringing of our culture particularly, that basically focuses on working harder. It should not be there. Work smarter with alignment. work smarter with alignment. Misalignment in anything, it always creates, frustration is anyhow going to show up in your emotions. If I talk about the second pillar, which is the skill axis, if in the skill axis there is frustration, automatically the confidence of the person will get low down, right? So therefore correct placement of the things need to be figured out, need to be thought. Now I give you an example related to the skill axis, of which is very common among the corporate managers. This is very very common. So a manager was not basically weak or lazy, I would say, but he was in the wrong role. Now let me just tell you how. A mid-level corporate manager, he worked extremely hard, right, but felt constant pressure and irritation. Now during the reflection, what happened, he realized that his natural strength was problem solving and strategy, but his role demanded heavy people management, micromanagement and everything. Now when he gradually repositioned himself into planning, analytics, solution design, his irritation pattern reduced, not because he controlled the emotions, but skill alignment improved. So what is the insight from this narrative? Emotional reactivity often disappears when you stop forcing yourself into the roles that resist your natural skill set, right? So that is why it is said that the child or a person must opt for the career in which you are naturally indulged. This is the logic behind that. The second pillar or the second axis of our life, which is skill axis, if you are not aligned to skill axis, automatically you will have traumatic experiences, you will have negative outcomes, you will be very very negative towards yourself. So therefore this is the second pillar that should always be aligned in the life, right?